Let's go to today. I was coming in the car early this morning, about a little after 7 o'clock. It was announced that the House had voted on a new tax bill, monumental tax bill. Talk about the debt cycle, short-term and long-term debt cycle, and what that bill, if it becomes law, Senate has to pass it, right? But if it becomes law, what does that do to our debt situation? There's a lot of concern right now that we've borrowed too much money and we continue to borrow more and more.
The credit system is like the circulatory system in that credit brings nutrients, brings buying power to the economy. And if that's used well, then it produces income, and the income services the debt. And when debt accumulates faster than the income, and the debt burdens rise relative to the incomes, it is like plaque in the system in that it crowds out spending. So you can measure how it's crowding out spending. For example, it's been said, and it's true, that the interest rate on the debt is greater than the defense budget, for example. And so you can see this crowding out occur. And the way this dynamic works is that if there's a lot of debt, one man's debts are another man's assets. And so they're holding a lot of debt assets around the world. Those are our bonds. And then if you add that, a lot of debt to that, whatever a deficit is, has to be bonds that are sold, then there's a supply-demand problem. So the things to look for, and you could see them on a chart, and you can see when things crash, is the debt service payments accumulating and squeezing out, and then you can see the supply-demand problem. We know the amount that has to be sold, and we know the issue in terms of the buying of that debt, that there probably will not be enough demand. You see it reflected in the market action. I won't go into that at length. So to put the numbers in perspective, roughly speaking, we will have a deficit of about 6.5% of GDP. That is more than the market can bear. Not only do you have the new amount of selling to finance the deficit, but the big risk is that when holders choose to sell, you have a gigantic shift in terms of that supply demand, because it's not just the existing quantity, it's the other the debt that's held being sold. That dynamic is where we're at the brink of. So it's very much like watching a patient with the accumulation of these problems having that pro forma. So that's what it looks like to me.